Hey guys, what's up? Drew, Radio 13.fm. I am so pumped I get to sit here and talk with Stars Will Fall, all 19 of them. I'm very excited about this. Could be the biggest chat session we've had. So I am just pumped to get into it. They are a newer band, I'm going to call them, out of Northeast Ohio. I'm not sure where Northeast Ohio, what that is. Columbus, is that? I'm not sure. We're going to let Jason kick it off. Jason is guitar producer and one of the founding members of Stars
Hi.
Will Fall. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. So, why don't you give us a little bit of the inception of Stars Will Fall?
Yeah. I was in a former band with Austin, a Christian rock band, and when that came to an end, him and I decided we weren't done, and we wanted to continue. So we had a few months off, and we started looking for a singer, and found Dale, and that's kind of how it happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it a decision that you guys said that you weren't done, or did God say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a minute here. I'm
It
not,
was both.
not, I'm not finished with you yet."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we definitely we weren't done, and God said, you know what, we have a bigger purpose for you guys, and that's we had the passion behind it, and we just wanted to spread the message of Jesus, and we weren't done.
Nice. That's awesome. And speaking from very real experience, if you don't listen to God, I mean, God's the type of person for me, he'll just come down and thwack me on the back of the head and say, moron. I mean, he doesn't talk to me in these and thous. He says, hey, idiot, what are you doing?
That's right.
I found out a long time ago that I just might as well listen to him. And Austin, the second founding member, playing drums, doing some vocals.
Yeah. I started playing with Jason back in 2017, 2018 when we met and started jamming in our old band Lap 7 Breakthrough. And like Jason said, we came to an end with Lap 7 Breakthrough, but not with each other and not for the purpose that we really needed to push forward with. And we really gained some traction after we got Dale on and brought the skill set that we'd learned from Lap 7 Breakthrough. And then that ball just kept rolling, and now it's as big as it is.
Wow.
It's still small, it feels like, but it feels like it's growing so fast.
Man, I think you guys came out of nowhere, and so far you've dropped what, three songs, not including the Christmas song coming out.
Yep.
And man, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but it's pretty sweet. So then Dale joins the group because you guys sat there going, well, we need more than drums and a guitar.
Right.
So who can we find to do some screamo? Was that the initial thought there, Dale?
I guess so. I mean, none of my audition songs had any screaming whatsoever. I think I did some what was it, Demon Hunter, but none of those songs that they picked had any screaming. So it was just kind of like a hidden talent that they didn't know that I had.
Nice.
Well, see, I was nosy though, and listened to your other band though. So
yeah, actually,
they didn't have you sing like some Lacey Sturm or anything like that.
No, but John and I were in a pretty successful band about 20 years ago now, or 15 years ago, and but it was secular, and that kind of imploded, and I always wondered why God still had this this poking on me about singing and wanting to sing and being a vocalist, but I was never using it. And then this opportunity came up. Somebody sent it to me, and actually it was my wife sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, I have an audition with them. She's like, already? And so, I mean, from there, I the rest is history, as they say.
Nice. And then how does Lane fall into this? So you got you three, and you're going, well, you got to have some bass lines.
Yeah. So not to jump on the story too much, we actually knew each other way back at my church that my dad was a pastor at for a while, music pastor, and then an executive there at the chapel in Akron. And so yeah, John I had known from doing a couple worship band things together, but mostly from watching him play on Sunday mornings. And I met up with John, I think it was in July, and had lunch with him, and he mentioned that his brother, which would be Dale, had a band thing going on. And
A band thing going on.
band thing going on. So
Band
that's
thing.
what I knew of it at least at that point. And I'm a student at Kent State Stark, music technology student. So doing a double focus in audio recording and music production.
Are you gonna are you gonna critique my sound, man? After all this?
Oh, of course not.
Not to my face, anyways.
Well, critiques don't necessarily have to be bad now, do they, Drew?
Well, no, they absolutely do not. I ignore most of them anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
See, there you go. That's when you need the thwack.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I've been kind of doing this. I'm a percussionist by trade, but have been learning the bass guitar, and did the bass voices from on the brass side in the form of tuba and baritone in school growing up. So I've been kind of plucking my way around a bass guitar, trying to learn how to play the thing. And John invited me to come reach out to Dale and see what just kind of see what the band Stars Will Fall was all about. And I listened to a couple songs, The Promises and Anxiety. I was like, wow, these guys can play. So I started learning some of the songs that they had for that they had going on some of their set lists, and played at a couple practices, and they asked me to keep playing. So here I am, learning how to be in a band.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we were trying to get John in for like a year. So,
I think we talked maybe before we started recording about rabbit holes and going down different things. So here's one of them. Sorry, man. I sometimes I have to go. So question for you, Lane. So you're going to decide what you're going to play in high school. Did you ever give consideration to your parents and their vehicle before you got a tuba? I mean, seriously, a clarinet, a saxophone.
That's the great thing about tuba, though, is when you start that, the school doesn't really expect you to buy one or your parents to buy one, so they've got them for you to take home and to play there.
I would buy one just to make you carry it around.
Exactly. Well, and I was always a big kid, so I was built to be able to carry it and to be able to play it and have the breath support for it. So they say you start to look like the instrument you play, and I kind of resent that starting out on the tuba. But I've worked my way down to a baritone, and I can shed the pounds maybe in the brass section.
Yeah.
Did you have the big round sousaphone in the marching?
I did play that. I did play the sousaphone for a couple of years, and then I moved to quads, which are even heavier because I make smart decisions.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right. Like I said, we're gonna probably do this a couple times. So, and that leaves John driving home.
Yeah. Is it okay if I'm
careful.
not on camera? I did park.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, set the cruise and go, baby. Just go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's your vibe, man?
My vibe. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. I just pretend like I know what I'm doing, and they seem to go with it.
And they buy
it. Yeah. I mean, life lesson number one is sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, Dale and I have been played in pretty much every band we've ever had. We've played together. We're super close. We homeschooled together. We got into music late in high school, so we didn't start very early. I picked up a guitar, he picked up a bass, and we just went to town. We had an uncle who was a very good drummer, and we kind of learned trial by fire, just by playing with excellent musicians. We got good really fast. Started our first Christian band called Braver. This was like back at the turn of the century here, and then a couple of years later we started Third Nature, and that was the successful band that Dale was talking about. And
turn of the century. What are you guys like 12 when you started this?
I wish.
I got shoes older than you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
but
over 40, so
Yeah, me too.
look out.
Oh wow, well, way to bring me down. Yeah, I look
Yeah.
at garbage now. So, but no, keep going, John.
yeah,
See if you
I
can bring me
mean,
down even further.
right. So, so yeah, we had kind of parted ways musically at the end of Third Nature and hadn't done much together. Dale met his wife through choir, a community choir, and I actually put the guitar away, sold my gear, and gave it up for close to 10 years. And it was maybe just a handful of years ago, I felt like God kind of gave me permission to bring it back into my life, because it was my God before, was my music and my guitar playing, and so an interesting turn of events came about, and somehow I went from just kind of sitting into worship practice at church every Wednesday to them finally trying me out and me screwing up the interview, the audition, still getting the part, and then I end up playing literally almost every Sunday for 6 years.
Wow.
So that's how I met Lane. Was his dad was one of the pastors there, and then Dale hooks up with these guys, and he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna join a band." I'm like, "You guys gonna do dad rock? Is this gonna be like one of those types of bands?" He's like, "Maybe," but I just kind of sat back and observed, and I met Jason at one of Dale's birthday party. I didn't meet Austin until a little bit later, but once I heard them play, I was like, okay, these guys are kind of good. And then Anxiety came out, and the professionalism and the production quality and the songwriting, the drums, the guitars, the vocals, everything that they did, I was just so impressed with. I was like, this is the kind of music I like. I kind of want to play. I didn't want to. I kept that close to my chest. Because I didn't want to get my hopes up, and I also didn't want to insert myself in there like, hey guys, let me in here. I know, like I said, I know what I'm doing or whatever. But I just kind of decided to be a fan and let them, look for people. Maybe God had someone that was a better fit, that was more, a better musician than I am, or whatever. But I really, really had that itch starting to grow, and I wanted to play in a band with my friends, and like I said, Dale and I have done all these projects together, so we just work really well together. And I really like his voice, and I really like his lyrics. I've always been a supporter. I mean, I'm probably his harshest critic and his biggest fan. When it comes to his vocals and his lyrics. But I sat down one day with Lane. We got lunch and we were just talking. I was like, hey, my brother's got a band. They're looking for a bass player. They have a drummer. And because I kind of poked around, and Lane mentioned that he played some bass on something for school. I was like, yeah, you should join. He's like, I couldn't do that. Well,
can I bring my tuba?
That hard. and so I gave him Dale's number, sent him the tracks that they'd already put out, and then let all that happen on its own. Next thing I hear from Lane is like, I'm gonna be sitting down with these guys and auditioning. And then Dale calls me up and says, hey, since your friend joined, are you going to join? And I was
like, does that make you want to join more now?
yeah, because these guys were starting to make it clear that they wanted me. They'd never heard me play. They'd never, interviewed me about my spiritual life.
Third Nature stuff.
Yeah.
Jason got nosy and then shared that to me.
Yeah, I did. That's how that works.
Okay. I didn't do any of the leads in Third Nature though.
Yeah.
Oh well. And that
let me ask you this: you're talking about so after the secular implosion, I believe that was a terminology. It was a few years in between that and kind of where you're at now, or even getting back into the church choir, worship band and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So was the secular band, was that Christians in a Christians in a
Yeah.
band?
It was Christians in a yeah,
Okay, so
clean fix, positive message, high energy, but yeah, just not
not labeled as Christian, because back turn of the century, that's where a lot of what we'll call them Christian bands, they either started fleeing from the name Christian band, and to me,
Yeah.
I don't really care. I mean, are you a Christian band? Are you a band? Are you Christians in a band? To me, you know what? I mean, it's all in the lyrics and it's all in the ministry. So you can obviously tell people by their fruit. So
It's got stats.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just can't get that tied down to that. I mean, there are, true Christian bands. I consider you guys a Christian band. Chaotic Resemblance, a true Christian band. Aaron Michaels, and then you have the parallel Christian bands who I'd throw like, Wage War in there, and bands like that sing positive lyrics, but they're, whoa, we're not Christian. Fit for a King, kind of, but with Ryan Kirby running that band, there's definitely his influence in that. So
what was it? Anne Berlin was saying that they are Christians, but their band is, they're entertainers in that.
Yep.
They're not like a Christian band.
correct. They're Christians in a band, but we're entertainers, and it's like, well, are you entertainers or are you Christians? I don't care. The bands that I can't stand are the bands that started out Christian, and then they actually became, not even a secular, but they became anti-Christian. Under Oath is probably the greatest example of that. When Aaron left the band and Spencer kind of took control, and I'm actually getting to a point here. So, but when Spencer took control, it was kind of the head of the monster. Spencer never claimed to be a Christian, and he brought it down. Aaron Gillespie leaves the band, puts out one of the most gorgeous praise and worship albums, and then goes right back to a band, and singing songs, if Jesus comes down again, we'll kill the MFer twice. Hey, that's an anti-Christian band. So if you want to be a parallel Christian band and positive and lift people up, that's great. I really dig to the Christian bands, just given my background and what I've gone through in my life and what Jesus has done in my life. So I really, go full-fledged on bands like yours. And we do whatever we can to help promote that. So saying all of that to say this, is there a single or maybe a dual, maybe it's Jason and Austin, being that you guys are the founders, that had a vision of what this band should be, what the ministry, more importantly, should look like?
I just wanted something that we could, get to people with that wouldn't normally go to church or even think about Jesus, right? So I wanted to have an avenue with music and a style of music that these people already listened to, that had a good message with Jesus and could kind of rope them in a little bit. That's what I really wanted. And that's, I think, what we're striving for, right, is to reach as many people as we can. The music is just that avenue to bring people to start talking to them about it.
So was that kind of the goal also, Austin, was just kind of, I mean, we're loving on Jesus, let's get some other people. I think your music is that perfect bridge. I like to call it bridge music. Christian music has a great sound to it. You guys are very talented musicality wise, but it's also a song. If you're cruising down the road and you're hanging out with one of your friends that aren't Christian, you can play that, and not, How Great Thou Art is a great song, but you're not going to be, hey, you got to check this out. They really rock.
Yeah. So our goal with kind of this project from the beginning was definitely to be a ministry first. The music was kind of secondary, and not to say that it's not important, because that's kind of the point of starting a band, right? But we didn't have an idea of what we were looking for in terms of sound. We just kind of, once we found a handful of people that wanted to be a part of this and wanted to sing with us, we just wanted to be part of a group of people that could vibe very well together, and we can have discussions about what's going on in our lives and what's Jesus saying in that moment. So we really ramped that up whenever Dale came on. I think that was just the key that we needed to get this moving in the direction that we didn't know where it was going, but that it was very, very obvious that it was the correct direction for this.
Nice. So the songs that you started out with, yeah, Anxiety and then Promises, first two songs that you guys did, were those already in the can before Dale joined? Or who was the lyricist, I guess is what I'm saying.
That's Dale.
Yeah, that would be me. To answer one of your earlier questions, Northeast Ohio, think of like Cleveland, like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all that
Akron.
stuff. Yeah. So we're in that neck of the woods. We're just about an hour south of Cleveland and Lake Erie and all that.
Okay.
But yeah,
Canton and Columbus is really where it starts to get into central.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, I spent some time in Columbus.
Yeah, so lyrically, I did, I've always done my own lyrics, and I think I went home from a practice one day where we were doing mostly covers, and I had to learn 13 songs of between Lap 7 and different covers, and like Skillet and Red and all those kinds of covers. And then Jason's like, yeah, we have this concept folder, go check it out. I pulled up the first riff, and it was just like a guitar riff from 2 years before that Jason wrote, and I just wrote Anxiety in like an hour and sent it to them with the harmonies and everything, and they really liked it. We got fired up, and then we recorded it, and Jason did all the producing to it, and I think it turned out better than we dreamed it would or hoped it would. It turned out really, really well, and we were really excited about it too.
Yeah, I think it's very telling.
You write a song like that in an hour.
Yeah, and it's all God. I mean, like Austin said, it's a ministry first. One of the reasons that the guys liked me was because I asked if we could pray before we started, when I was auditioning. And
did you do that because you knew it was a Christian band, or you do it because you knew it was the right thing to do?
Yes. Yes. Well, and I wanted to see if they were weird about it, then I didn't want my faith to feel weird around them. Like if they're just looking for somebody to sing to their songs, or are they looking to actually do the biblical church where we break bread, we become friends, we become family, and it's been great. We do devotions every time we meet up. And
so you walk into an audition and you say, all right, so we got wheat and chaff here right now. Let's separate it right now, see where I stand, and decide if I want to move on, if God wants me to take this. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was super nervous, so I needed to pray as much as humanly possible. So because when I believe those moments are to stretch your faith when you're unsure, and God will use moments like that to get through to you and to grow you.
So
yeah, to Dale's point, we do those devotions, at every practice beforehand, and there's sometimes where 3/4 of the practice turns into the devotional, and we don't play very much. Like, what was it last time we got together? And it was like that, right? It was just
we played one song together after that.
we played one song.
Nice.
Yeah, we were trying to get an arrangement of Jesus Freak together.
Yeah.
From the old DC Talk days. That's what John and I got into, was we saw the Freak Show concerts.
Yep.
And that got us into man, this looks like so much fun.
There was a remake of Jesus Freak, and I see here Rabbit Trail. There was a remake, Chasing Victory, I think it was, that did the remake of Jesus Freak. Have you heard that version of it? I've got to bring that version back actually in the rotation. It is ridiculous.
Austin played us some other band's version, and it was not good. But I don't remember.
This was a, this
Well, I
was-
don't want to say who it was now, but
I've seen the Newsboys version of Jesus Freak. I've
I
seen
like
it
that one.
live and listen to the audio. Pretty easy to play, so not too worried about the arrangement.
yeah, Chasing Victory did a pure metal version of Jesus Freak, and I wept. I wept a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite music. So Promises, first song that I heard of your guys's. When I first heard it, I'm like, wow. I can't even remember how I came across you guys. But a lot of the bands were playing it, and it could have been just one of the bands that I follow, maybe liked one of your songs or something, and I was instantly hooked on the sound. But again, as everybody is saying, it's becoming repetitive. But when you really get into it, and you hear the lyrics of it, and you go, "Wow, there is something here. There is something here that's just not placating to people. It is actually deeper than that." And I absolutely love the lyrics of that. I love how it sounds. But again, it ministered to me. So you guys must be doing something right on it, right?
yeah, I remember sitting in my car in a Wendy's parking lot, and I don't remember why I was in a Wendy's parking lot waiting for something.
Probably food.
Chili.
You'd hope. One would hope it was food, but just we played the song, the guys played the song, and it was like, okay, this is really heavy. I like this, and I was thinking about it, and we actually wrote most of the lyrics. I just do absolute nonsense the first time we do something. Like I'll just make up words, and then I'll listen to a recording and figure out what works from there. But the word promises came to my mind, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then this idea of people break promises to us all the time. We break promises, but then you think about, okay, why do promises exist? So that God can show us his love.
Yeah.
And just his promise never fails. And it's a great way to, before the song, say, this is for all those people that in your life that have broken promises to you, and people get really into it. And then after the song, it can be like, there's someone who will never break their promises, and that's Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. I mean, there's people that go through their entire life, growing up in bad homes and getting into bad relationships and getting out of those bad relationships to fall into a deeper spot, again, because of all the promises and lies that they have been told, and to be able to break through that stigma, that personal stigma that they have, that they're not good enough, that they're not warranted. And then all of a sudden, promises comes down, and you realize that Jesus gives us the ultimate promise, that he laid down everything for all of us, knowing that we are worthy. And if you get that get through to people that, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you've done, Jesus still died on the cross for you, for I. And that
you can't run away.
Well, that's our worth, so that's why I really kind of dug that. And like I say to most artists, I really don't care what you guys were thinking about when you wrote the songs. It's how I take it as a listener and how it affects me. So that's where I want to jump right into Follow You, because that song, I never cried during it. I freely admit that. I might have missed it.
Sure.
I'm a man.
You're a man.
But anyways, that is a great song for your third single out there. Ridiculous. You can tell the talent, like I said before, the musicality that you guys bring to the table. Even the new guy, just learning bass, Lane. I mean, it's the whole thing is it's so tight. So
he learns 10 songs in a week and tried out for us.
Yeah.
It happened very quickly.
Yeah.
Lucky's blushing now.
Yeah.
Playing since about January of this year.
Wow.
And it's been, I mean, these guys are easy to play with.
Here's the thing I knew about Lane when I brought it up to him. I know because I've, played with him in the past and we've tried to do projects together, but he catches on really, really fast and he's very musically inclined. I don't know if it's genetics or if it's just intellect, but he has a gift.
Nice.
My parents are both very good musicians too. My father actually was touring the world with the King's Brass when he was 16. I don't know if there's any King's Brass fans out there, but yeah, he was doing it. And my mom was a great horn and a little bit of piano as well. But they brought me up around music, which I'm super thankful for.
Yeah, and then you slapped him in the face with a tuba.
And now you're in a silly rock band.
They're actually the ones that wanted me to play that because they knew that nobody else would and that they were going to need one. So they had the band director in mind, I think.
Yeah, I know I'm coming across anti-tubite, but I'm not. Okay. So the record's straight. So as far as vocals go, so Dale, you're taking lead on that, but Austin, you're jumping in on that also, right?
Yeah. I try to sing when I am able to, whenever Dale lets me. I did the harmonies for Promises. No, he does
those on
awesome.
the spot too. It was amazing. He Promises. He just made those harmonies up on the spot, and it's outstanding.
Yeah, I tried to do as much as possible in the previous band, Lap 7 Breakthrough, just in terms of a dynamic thing, because we had a female vocalist at the time, so having that female-male dynamic was very cool. But I really got an ear for it after I started listening to bands like Boston, who are doing harmonies, and Breaking Benjamin was huge. Their harmonies are almost second to none in the genre. Mm-hmm. So I really picked up an ear for it, I feel like, and I'm hoping I'm lending it well to to these guys. So
nice.
Yeah, and to Austin's credit. Thank you.
And to be able to play the drums and sing like he does at the same time is phenomenal. We've had so many people come up and just been like, "Man, how do you do that? That's awesome."
Okay, I gotta brag on these guys a little bit. I'm sorry to take over for a second, but since we're talking about Austin, the dude drums, he sings and he does tech. Jason, tech, producing, guitar, he does rhythm and lead. He's gonna do lead on the on our 5th song, Price You Pay, when that comes out. Lane, we have already talked about his history and his ability to pick things up. Dale is a bass player and a singer, and he plays guitar. And I'm just a goober who plays electric guitar every once in a while. These guys we have a Discord, and they have a gear page, and Jason, Austin, and Lane are on that constantly. It seems like 24/7 talking about all this technical stuff. I'm like, Dale, you and I are the dumb ones this time.
Right.
All right. Well, I know who I'm hitting up then if I need technical assistance. Which
I actually work for an AV company as an AV integrator, so let me know.
Yeah. I just struggle along. Yeah. But I guess for what I do, as long as you got good mics, good mixing, and good software. That's all that really matters. This isn't even my real voice, quite frankly.
It's got a voice voter.
Really up here.
It's AI.
Yeah.
So
pitch shift.
Talking about Follow You, what does that song mean to you? Because I could tell you what it means to me, but I want to hear.
I just like that no matter what you're going through in life, as long as you're following Christ, as long as you're going along that path, and it doesn't matter if that path is tough. If you're not going through any seasons, at the end, if we're gonna follow, all right. So I'm gonna get into a mini rant, I guess, that often happens on the radio.
I'm here for it.
What I'm talking, everybody follows somebody in this world. Non-believers follow, a belief. Atheists have a belief. Leftism is a religion in and of itself. So everybody's got to follow somebody. So when I was away from God, everybody knew I was away from God. So now that, we came back to the Lord, everybody better know that I'm with God. Otherwise, I'm just a hypocrite. So if I'm going to follow somebody, and everybody does, I am going to follow the baddest dude to ever walk the face of the earth. The man that just knew what was coming, knew what he was doing, and said, yeah, I'm going to do this. So if you're going to follow somebody, lefties want to follow lefties, righties want to follow righties. I don't care. I'm going to follow the one true king, and I'm going to go down that road, and I don't care how tough it is. And when the attacks happen, I know there has to be something that the enemy does not want me to hit. I know that I'm on the precipice of something, and the attacks will happen to everybody. Nobody is immune to it. My mother, who was not only a minister, but she was a member of Mensa, so she was a genius. She always said, number one, I'm too smart not to believe in God. But if you're not getting attacked for years at a time, maybe you're not doing enough for the kingdom. So, to follow you, I'm going to follow no matter what. I don't really care what happens to me because I'm playing the long game. I'm playing for what happens next. So that probably had nothing to do with what you wrote the song for.
No, that's it. I wrote it as a daily reminder to myself. Wake up, wake up. The alarm is screaming. Every day is a battlefield. It's like every day you set a brick that makes up the wall of your life. And is it going to crumble at the end of the day, or are you going to try and be like Jesus? Are you going to follow him? Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all else will be added to you. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, I believe. And, it's just the chorus, who I was yesterday. I know I'm not the same. I've been rearranged. I want to be like you, and I won't be ashamed calling out your name. So, I mean,
So I nailed it?
Yeah. You get an A. You get an A on that test. Yeah.
Usually when I explain my
review artists and their music.
Yeah.
Usually I explain it to an artist and they go, I have no idea what song you're even listening to.
Yeah. So like anxiety and promises, you could interpret it different ways, even as an unbeliever. But this song, we just wanted to make a point that this is a ministry first, and we wanted to have a song that put all the cards out on the table.
Yeah.
Let everyone know who we strive to be like.
Absolutely. And you don't really have to answer the question, are you a Christian band or are you Christians in a band? All you gotta do is play them that song.
Yeah, exactly.
So did that song, was that a Resurrection record song, or was that prior to you guys signing?
That was with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that was the first one. Yeah.
We
okay,
started writing it before, I think, but when we released it, it was under the label. Yeah.
gotcha. How does a band that's around for like 14 months signs with the label already? I'm just curious.
It was I don't know. We were getting played on a lot of internet radio, I think, and Aaron Michaels. I got an email from Aaron Michaels. I'm like, I know that name. I was like, this is cool, and he says he wants to talk to us. So I think I talked to him first on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
We set up a conversation, just him and I, about signing, and so I could get the information from him and talk to the band about it. And man, he was so excited to talk to us, and he said he had heard Anxiety, and it was the harmonies for him that did him in. He was just like, I have to talk to these guys. So I brought it up to the rest of the band, and we had a good conversation with Aaron, and that's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah, I had a chat with Aaron a couple of weeks ago, and we were sitting there talking about all the different bands and the artists that he brought in there, and we're going through the list, and I went, wait a minute, because Aaron's been on our rotation for the last probably, I bet 6 months into this, so the last 4 years. And I'm like, Aaron, what'd you do when you started your label? Did you just go down my playlist and say, yep, signing? Because almost 80% of the bands on there are bands that we had on long before Resurrection Records were even around. So that's one thing I'm going to keep throwing back in his face.
Yeah, you get that one on him for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this whole thing was a label plant.
Yeah, and I didn't even get a cut for it, man. It's just
Don't worry, neither did we.
No.
oh, that's good. So now you're with Resurrection Records. I would imagine you got plans. You said you got a new song coming out. You just dropped the Christmas song. God rest you, gentlemen.
Yep, last Friday, yeah.
So that's a resurrection. So he's doing like a whole Christmas album then, or Christmas, I guess, electrical album or whatever.
I think you got six songs out of everyone.
Nice.
6 bands
Yeah,
contributed.
I think he's planning on doing a Christmas playlist on Spotify or something like that. I believe was the ultimate goal. But
okay. So how do you pick the Christmas song that you guys are going to do? I mean,
whichever one will not get a copyright strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked at the public domain list, and I was like, this one's cool, and then we just wrote our own hook and our own everything else to it, our own musical arrangement.
Nice.
And,
all right, so what's coming up next then for you guys besides the Christmas song?
Musically,
hear it? Yeah. What's the next track?
It's actually my favorite song so far, and it's called "Price You Pay."
Okay.
It's about how we pay a price as Christians, and we go through a lot, but then in the second verse it turns it around and says, well, Jesus went through a lot, and this is the price that he paid.
Wow.
So kind of like a double whammy there. But it's heavy. It's got a lot more screaming in it and whatnot. So
and you do the both clean and dirty vocals?
Yeah.
Awesome. What are you doing, man? You can't do one or the other, or
I can actually interchange between singing and screaming and back. But
so speaking of that, I was actually going to ask when we were talking about Follow You. So kind of starts out with a cool vibe, and then when you get near the end of that scream comes in near the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's all basically in one motion. Was that a track? No, you be honest, man. If we're on a Christian station, you have to be honest. Was that a track, or did you just simply go from singing into that scream and then back down again?
That's what he does.
That's a gift.
Yeah, live. I think in on the recording we stacked them, but live, I'll scream and then break back into the clean vocal.
Yeah.
And,
it's amazing. I don't know how he does it.
But Austin actually does some of the screaming and Price You Pay near the end.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's like a call and response.
Are you guys screaming in harmony? Because it's actually one of my favorite things, because there is such
I think we do at one point.
Yeah, I love screamo when you get that harmony screams in there. It is so cool. Or else the diametrically opposed scream, the really high scream and the guttural scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have more of like a what they call a false chord scream, more beefy, more intense.
Mm-hmm.
And Austin can do like the fry scream.
Okay.
It's like he can really move his pitch around with it. So
But really, you'll just have to wait and see and listen to the song.
that's right.
In other words, get out of your business.
Well, if anybody's come and seen us,
something here.
if you've seen us live, we've been playing it for how long? We've been playing that song out live now, almost 6 months at least, right?
Yeah.
Since
I think we put it in.
we started.
I think we put it in right after we released Promises, didn't we?
Yeah, we've been playing it a while.
So
You guys played it at least twice before I joined. Like I saw you guys play it.
So how long has that been? 6 months, 8 months? Just out of curiosity, because I do have a follow up on this.
I think it's about 6 or 7 months, I would say.
Yeah, it's been about right around
because
6
we added
months.
it to the list not long after Promises.
Okay.
Once we got it arranged,
Yeah, but once we released Follow You, we're kind of letting that one breathe because it's doing really well.
Yeah.
We just got to number 15 on the National Christian Music Weekly
Yep.
chart with Follow You.
That is
And,
awesome.
and we never, like, when we first got on it, Aaron messaged us and he's like, hey, you guys are on Christian Music Weekly in the top 30 for Promises. And this was like, I don't know, almost a year ago at the time. And we're like, with the other names that were on the list, we're just like, did you guys ever imagine we'd be
Yeah.
Wow.
like God would be using us in this way? And we're like, not this soon.
Yeah, it happened
Well,
quick.
I think you guys been on kind of the express train here. I mean, go from there to, having that happen with Promises and then getting signed. And, the future for you guys, I just know is going to be bright, and God's got plans for you guys, man. I mean, you can just see it and you can feel it in your music. Now, even though I was trying to, I think get guilted because I haven't seen you live yet. Thanks a lot, Jason. I
A
appreciate
lot of people haven't.
it. But
Come to
no.
our shows, everyone, all of you, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, if you're in Cleveland, they're only 100 miles south of Cleveland, or no, 80 miles. Is that what you said?
An hour. So
An
hour.
50, 60.
45,
yeah.
50. Yeah.
All right. So is that like that has to be like right between Columbus and Cleveland?
Well, it's close to Akron too.
Okay.
Akron and Canton. Canton's got the Football Hall of Fame. Everybody might know about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Akron, the home of LeBron James,
hmm
all that stuff.
And Goodyear Tire.
Good. Yep.
The blimp city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is a weird thing about Columbus, which I never knew about until I visited there a couple times. Columbus has the largest Catholic museum in the United States. Did you know that? In Columbus, Ohio. I'm like, this is crazy. They have the largest collection. But when I went there, like their one building, again, rabbit hole, I apologize. But their one building was like getting torn down or something. Apparently, God has a demolition company too. But so I went there and they only have this is weird. The person that gave me a tour, her name was Teresa. I kid you not. I don't think she was a mother, but her name was Teresa. I will always. And she goes, well, we only have 17% of our relics and everything out. And I said, how do you come up with 17%? That doesn't even make sense. Why don't you say about 15%? Maybe we got less than 20%. She comes up with 17%.
17.3 repeating.
Yeah, so I had to actually buy the bracelet from there. It was actually a really cool place. So I couldn't
Hey,
figure out.
accuracy matters.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you know they're giving you a real answer. 'Cause they did the math.
Or they're making. That's when you know they're making it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
too
walking
much detail.
through there, and they have these relics, and I never really, I'm not a Catholic, so nothing against Catholics, but they have the relics, and the one relic they had like all of the disciples, like a piece of their bone and stuff, which I don't know if it's morbid or cool, but I still looked at it.
Both.
Well, we have all. She goes, we have all 12. I said, are you sure you got 12 and not 13? She goes, well, Judas doesn't count anymore. They had Matthias in there, so that was good. So, yeah, I apologize. I don't even know.
Well, one thing's for sure, they're not going to have any remains of Jesus there.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
he rose again.
yeah, no.
Mhm.
He said, I'm out of here. He goes, you guys gonna treat me like this? I'm out of here. See you later.
I
So-
do want to go back to mentioning the Christmas song "God Rest You Merry Gentlemen" because that's the first song that features me and Lane.
Oh,
And I
really?
think that's kind of
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Yep.
So Lane, you
Yeah.
want to mention that at all?
Well, it didn't come up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think in the pre-show I mentioned Lane did all of the orchestration and all of that, and
Yep.
and
Mhm.
the bells and the cello and all these other instruments that you hear. And John's lead guitar riff just rips through the chorus. I mean, it starts up and it doesn't stop. It's amazing. It's so catchy
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, I listened to it actually probably a half hour before we jumped on.
Nice.
I knew you guys, all you guys from Resurrection were putting out Christmas songs, so I knew you guys dropped one. So I had to listen to it. I don't really do Christmas music because I feel that all Christian music is Christmas music. That's Christ.
Yeah, I'm not a big Christmas music person either, but this song rocks.
Yep, but I always do a couple full shows of just Christmas music, and it has to be heavy, otherwise I'm not going to play it. you know. So yeah, that one definitely is going to make the Christmas show.
Nice.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we were going for
appreciate
like
that.
a trans. Yeah, just kind of like what we
Okay.
like is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, the classic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're kind of not trying to copy, but go for like a similar feel.
Yeah.
And,
Vibe.
yeah,
Vibe.
similar vibe. And yeah, I mean, really, just once we had a good riff together, that orchestration really just kind of follows a lot of what's in those riffs.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
kinda
I
playing
just
with
love
that
the mix.
lead.
I love the mix on it. I mean, it's just it sounds so cool how you the collaboration between between the music, between the instruments, I should say, and everything that is put on it. It is so layered that it's just a great sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then right smack dab in the middle of the chorus, John 3:16.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
What was that verse again? I can't remember. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What was
the
awesome
one about
too,
having a loin disease, I think.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, man. I thought.
the ending of the song too, with the last chords. I remember John was over laying down the lead on it, and I, obviously the rhythm was done already, and he hit that chord there at the end with what I was playing. I was like, dude, that was awesome.
Oh
I
yeah, it
just-
sounded so good.
sounded so good. I was like, that's it.
And I mean, really, just to speak on, just playing together, the first song that John and I have really contributed a lot to, just because everything else has pretty much been backlogged from before we joined. And really kind of speaking to what we were talking about earlier in kind of what the goal and the message and platform of the band is, because that's definitely something I was looking at and analyzing when I first sat down with these guys. Like, what are they doing? Do I want to be part of it? Do they want me to be part of it? And something that just really struck me is that you don't have to be a Christian to listen to this music. And I think that's obviously, you don't have to be a Christian to listen to Christian music. That's never been the claim. But, why would you want to listen to something you don't believe? And I think that one strength that we all have, and I think in our lyrics, is that, we're people, we're humans, and we're not different humans than people who aren't believers. And the
Amen.
things that we're singing about and proclaiming are things that everybody needs.
Absolutely.
And it's not just, messages that you may not believe. It's, anxiety hits us all, promises, when those are broken, that hits us all, whether you're a Christian or not. And I think that the message is powerful enough. God's message, he speaks to everybody in different ways. And it was really, I think, a breath of fresh air for me when you think about like Christian music. It's not like the same stuff you may hear growing up in a church, or the same stuff you hear week to week thrown on the radio, which, I really think that there's something unique about what these guys were doing, and I'm so blessed to be a part of it. And I really think that God is using the words that are being spoken in a really cool way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know you said it probably as a rhetorical question, but I'll answer it. Why would people listen to a Christian if they're not Christian? And well, because number one, secular music sucks. The talent pool is so watered down in secular music. It's horrible. But to your point, to my point about your point, let me be clear about that. I don't want to, say what your point was. My point for listening to your point is the difference between secular music is you can go through entire catalogs of songs and never get the hope that Christian music has. Like we talked about promises, follow you. You have that hope in the end. We talk about anxiety. We talk about depression. We talk about drug abuse. We talk about alcoholism, all these different things that just sit there and pound down whether you're a Christian or not. A lot of Christians suffer with all of that. But at the end of the day, that message of hope at the end, that Jesus is there waiting for us. You can't run from Jesus.
Yeah.
You can run as far and as far as you want. Guess what? All you got to do is turn around and he is right there, and he will pick you up. And that is not, to me, that is the biggest difference between Christian music and secular music, because I've always said that music is the most powerful medium that we have in entertainment. It is the most powerful, or I could be completely wrong and David sucked. I don't know.
Well, I have a different point of view, because there's a lot of people, especially in the secular world, who believe that Christian music is just like a generic version of whatever, because you've got the bands. It's like, oh, this is a Christian version of this band, this is a Christian version of that band. I remember when Third Day came out, like, this is the Christian answer to Pearl Jam. And that's something I absolutely 1000% did not want to be a part of. But when I heard this band and the unique sound, Dale has a very unique voice, the style, it references kind of the late 90s, early 2000s, like nu metal sound, which is a sound that I love, but it's still very unique and very modern in its delivery. It doesn't sound like other things that I've heard altogether.
100%. Absolutely.
Exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you, John.
And I took everything that Lane said. I screwed it up so John had what I was saying.
Hey, you were preaching,
actually,
man.
guys.
You were preaching though. It's all good.
Yeah, that happens every now and then. So, but I mean, talking about Christian music could be watered down or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'll throw you up against secular bands. I'll throw Confessions of a Traitor up against secular bands. I'll throw a lot of bands up against that. I don't agree with it. You might be able to say that in the late 80s, some of those Christian bands were they're horrible. They just were. My brother played in a Christian rock band, and they were just they were so bad. So bad. But that has changed. I mean, late 90s, Dale, we were talking about it earlier. The late 90s, there were so many. We had that kind of that revolution of Christian music that came out. Every other band that you heard was a Christian band. A lot of them fell away. A lot of them signed to Christian labels just to kind of get heard. But it was almost that renaissance of Christian music coming on, and then it kind of fell away for quite some time. And I think that resurgence is really happening right now. And bands like you guys right here are really kind of not only kind of collectively in that, but I think your sound has the ability to push that renaissance of Christian music even further.
I was just go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, for me, my family started listening to nothing but Christian music. It's probably been 5-6 years now, and what got me onto, I started to explore what Christian rock was, and somebody had recommended Nine Lashes to me. So I pulled it up and I heard Nine Lashes. I was like, oh, that's Christian rock.
The old Nine Lashes, or when they tried to go Nine Lashes disco?
No, it was,
okay.
This was probably, I don't know, 8 years ago, 6 years ago. Yeah. And man,
we cover a Nine Lashes song. I'm not sure if it's
it was that one. Yeah, and it was just like,
wow. Do you know Anthem of the Lonely?
It was Anthem of the Lonely.
Yes.
I heard that song.
We do that live, yeah.
Yeah,
we play it drop down and heavier.
Yeah.
I actually had that in the rotation for quite some time. I like Nine Lashes.
That got me hooked, and then I started exploring other bands too. But man, I was like, man, I want to do this, and here we are. So,
well, here's how I got into Christian music. I was always kind of a metalhead. Listened to metal and rap. That's when I started this station. That's all I was going to play was metal and rap. We've expanded, of course, since then. But my oldest son was right around 5 years old. We weren't going to church at the time. We were pretty far away from God. And he came up to me one day and said, "Dad, what is Christian music?" And I looked at my wife. I said, "I've completely failed as a father. If my son at 5 years old does not know what the terminology Christian music means." We were in church the next Sunday, this church we went to. It was kind of funny how it all fell together. The pastor's wife was an author, a therapist, stuff like that. She wanted to do a radio show, actually just to do some radio spots. We ended up doing a half-hour show. Then we ended up doing an hour show, and it was a talk. I know this is shocking, but it was a talk radio show. And we did that for about a year. And then the owners of the station said, no, we want to keep you on. So then we started out our music part of their show. But that's actually how I got into Christian music. Was a 5-year-old kid asked me what Christian music was. And I don't regret a single minute of it. So that's why I kind of make fun of secular music, because when my son was 4 years old, that's all I listened to. So
yeah, and I was just reading something where the way the industry is now, there's CCM for Christians, which is huge right now.
Yeah.
But it's not really changing. It's basically for Christians, by Christians for Christians.
Yeah.
Or sometimes by non-Christians for Christians, if you hear some of the deconstruction stories. But
yeah, if you're listening to Radio 1 or
yeah, and secular music, even rock, is very much like, how can we monetize this?
Yeah.
How can we produce this? So there are very much cookie cutter sections of it, and then you get into this world where it's like the 90s again, where bands are getting discovered that are really good, that like we played with These Beautiful Ruins, and
nice.
they were just outstanding, and they only have like 3 songs too, and we're like, hey, how's it going? But yeah, it's just been an eye-opener that God is using so many different artists that nobody's ever heard of, and it's all new and exciting stuff, and it sounds different, and it doesn't sound like some corporation is trying to shove some product down your throat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't play any CCM music. I play CCM-esque artists, but I refuse to say that they're CCM artists because I don't play them. I don't play country either, but that I don't have to hedge. But the thing with CCM music, the K-Love music, let's just call it the K-Love music. I won't even get started on K-Love, or of an organization that is. Anyways, but you can listen to a song on K-Love, quite frankly, today, and then you can listen to a song on K-Love. Hey, a throwback from 2004. It's the same song.
Same thing.
There is no difference. It's the same.
And Chris Tomlin is still singing it.
Yeah,
It's like the same people.
And Amy Homewrecker is right behind them. Yeah, it's the same thing. So
Well,
that's what got kicked me off the air the last time.
That's what I like about our, Resurrection Records artists. I mean, it's got a lot of diversity there. I mean, we've got Christian rap, we've got, hip hop, we've got Christian rock, Christian metal. I mean, it's got such a diversity there. And
Well, End of I does sound kind of K-Love-ish too.
on some of their stuff, yeah.
Some of their stuff is, yeah.
I like them. Don't ruin it for me, man. Yeah, and then you got like Tricord, who's like coming back with some little bit of rapcore.
Yeah.
Which, no offense to you guys, but rapcore is the greatest musical genre ever invented.
That's what John and I were in Third Nature. We actually had a rapper on about 3 or 4 songs, and they were pretty crazy. But yeah, it was kind of like the POD or the Jay-Z meets Linkin Park crossover kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, and you could even go like to a band called East West. They're pretty big in the late 90s, early 2000s. Still one of my favorite all-time albums. I think it was The Light in Genevieve's Garden. Oh, unbelievable. That he held the longest scream I've ever seen, quite frankly.
Okay.
He started out live, and you couldn't tell live from their CD. That's how good they were live. And he started out on his feet, and he starts the scream, and he doesn't finish until he's actually all the way on his back and running out of air. I thought I had to go like pound on his chest or something. It was awesome.
Real quick, I'm unfortunately going to have to hop out here, but I just want to thank you for having us on and having me on specifically.
Yeah, and now that I look at the clock,
appreciate the invite.
Yeah, I probably should let y'all go, Lane. It was
No
an
problem.
absolute pleasure talking with you. Good luck with everything you do, and hopefully the bass works out. So Dale doesn't have to put the tuba in his trunk or something.
Yeah, well, you'll have to ask those guys.
They were trying to get me to play the bass and sing. I was terrible at it.
You'll
not
have a
good
good night.
multitasker.
God bless.
All right, God
You
bless
too.
you. Yeah, and I just now that he said that, I see we ran over an hour, man, and I apologize. I know everybody's time is important, but I also feel that what we talked about and the messages that we talked about tonight is probably more important, quite frankly. So anything you guys want to finish up with? Jason, let's go in the same order. Jason.
I just want, thank you for playing our music and having us on here tonight. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate all the people that listen to our music, and we're going to have lots more coming here soon. So,
all right, and keep talking. I'm going to step away from my desk because I'm having a technical issue. Where'd the tech guy go? I'm having a technical issue, but I can still hear you, and I just got to do one quick thing over there. So, Austin, you're up.
Yeah, I'll say I'm pretty thankful for everybody that's requesting our songs, listening to our songs. We're actually putting a lot into it, especially being, this isn't our day job. We all have families and full-time jobs, and this is something that we're very passionate about, and we're very thankful and very glad that it's reaching as far as it is already, and we're excited to see where it goes. And it's all thanks to you and the other radio stations that play us and everybody that's streaming our music. So I would just want to say thank you to everybody, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said before, I just the beginning for you guys, man. You've got the sound, you've got the message, and more importantly, you got the ministry. Dale.
Amen. I mean, nothing that these guys haven't already said. It's all I can say is it's God. Like all of that crazy stuff, how this band came together, how these songs come together. There's no explanation for it but God, because I don't feel like I'm especially talented, but you tell God, hey, you can use me. Here I am. God will use the willing over the qualified, and we're just so thankful to Him for all of this, and we want to bring people to know Him through it and change their lives. Every time that we step on a stage, we want to put Him out there.
Amen. Amen. John. Oh, a dramatic pause, John.
Give me like 2 minutes.
All right.
I don't think we have that kind of time, John.
I guess I can fill for that. Well, while we're waiting for John, we'll let him close out the show. While we're waiting for John, I want to thank all you guys for jumping on, joining. Small little tiny station in the middle of nowhere, but we do appreciate it, and we also believe that we are on a mission from God. Not like the Blues Brothers. We're not going to be crashing a bunch of cars, but God put this on our heart. This is what we're going to do, and it doesn't really matter the size. We continue to grow. It's not about followers. It's about following, and that's what we've always said. That in the end, all the money that we put into this, all the time, the effort, all we're doing is looking for that one. We need to win one for the kingdom and let them be on fire for God. And let them go out and reach who they got to reach. I didn't mean to get into a sermon, but I was trying to give John a little extra time.
No, thank you. That stall for time. No, I mean, life is hard, and we all have our things that we've got to do, and we want to bring. I know I personally want to bring a message of hope to people who don't feel like there's much hope in the world right now. But I also want to bring a message of rejuvenation and energy to people who are in the fight and they're doing the Lord's work like yourself, and just encourage you all that our music helps you get through your day. We want to be a light to the world. We want to be salt. We want to have good flavor. We want to bear fruit. And I'm really proud and happy to be a part of this group and with these guys. I couldn't feel more blessed. I feel chosen, if that's okay to say, to be part of this band, and I feel loved. I feel that God's love is really apparent in the lives of these guys, and that we love each other, we love the people that we're serving, and we love God, and we want to show that to everyone.
That's awesome. Absolutely. Amen to that, brother. And now I got to try to finish it up after that. Come on. First you make me do 2 minutes of filler, and then you make me follow that up. But once again, guys, thank you so much for jumping on, joining us. I had a great time talking to you, getting to know you guys. Hopefully we can do this again down the road once you drop a couple more tracks, or next time you drop another track. You guys want to just get together and chat. Like I said, it's all wide open. So all of you out there, do yourself a favor, get on the Stars Will Fall bandwagon right now. You want to be that person 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road, to say, I've been listening to these guys forever. What are you talking about? Of course I with them. So get on them right away. Do them a huge favor. Go to their website, go to their socials, give them a like, give them a follow, stream their music. It's great. They get their 0.025 cent, because Apple needs more money than them.
We get money for that?
Not yet. No.
Very little.
But you know what? If you can afford to, visit their, go to their merch store, buy a hat, buy a bracelet, download a song, buy a song, do whatever you can. These guys are frontline warriors. They are out there. They need our support. They need our prayers. If you can afford to do so in this economy, help them out any way you can. If you can't, that's fine too. Like I said, a prayer, go give them a like, a follow, a share, share them with your friends, share them on your socials yourself. It's the social thing to do. But anyways, give them a like, give them a follow, give them a share. Do the same thing for us. Hope you liked this video. I had a blast, you guys. Can't wait to do it again. God bless you guys. Prayers for a huge revival that's going to happen all around you guys. God bless. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Drew. You as well.
Thanks. Great. Have a good night.
Every day I feel the stress.